Hello and welcome to Think Watercolour. This is another one of those small sketches to get you started with your watercolours. It's only a 7.5 inch by 5.5 inch piece of Saunders Waterford 300 gram paper. I've not drawn anything on. I'm just going to wing it a little bit and just have some fun with some watercolours. So I think I'll just put a rough horizon in first. This is just some Naples yellow. I want it fairly light. I'm going to paint a sort of a beach scene with some maybe some boats and a few puddles of water left, so I'll leave a few gaps here and there. Just an indication of where a beach is, keeping it very light, simple horizon. I'm just going to mix up some cobalt blue and add some cerulean blue. And I'm going to add, I've just got some left over from another painting. It's some yellow ochre. It's going to add some ultramarine to that to create a sort of a greyish cloud cover. A little bit green, but let's add a little bit of red in the form of some burnt sienna to that, just to warm it up a little bit. Maybe a bit more blue. I think, well, yeah, that's a reasonable grey for clouds. So just with some clean water, I'm just going to I don't know, just paint some rough cloud shapes across, maybe a diagonal, and I'll drop in some of the colours. So let's have some patches of blue sky. Just let that blend into the wet areas. Nice soft edges. Maybe another patch over here. Maybe a little bit of grey on the clouds as well, just to break it up. Doesn't matter if it bleeds into the horizon line, that's fine. Not too much, just enough to break the whiteness up a little bit and create this idea of a few clouds scanning across the sky. These colours are going to dry much lighter, so it really won't matter that much. Maybe put a bit in there. Try not to leave any hard edges. That's fine. While that's still wet, I'm going to just put a little bit of that blue in patches on the beach to suggest maybe some puddles. What I have in mind is to just put a boat on the trailer here with maybe a couple of people just talking about it, maybe thinking about repairs, and maybe in the distance here I'll put some smaller boats just left up on the beach, low tide I guess. Okay, that's all dry now, and I've just switched to a smaller brush. I was using a size 10 Escoda Prado. This is a size 4. I'm just going to add some ultramarine to that sky mix to make it a little bit darker. Just paint the hull of a boat fairly close to us. I've got no reference for this, so I'm going to wing this a little bit. So this is the underside of the boat. It's effectively, I think I would imagine it to be white, but I'll put it in as sort of a grey. Maybe lift out some of the colour. Suggest a white hull in shadow. Let's add a little bit of a cabin up top. And that's fine. It's only a quick sketch, so it doesn't really matter, but I like to get things reasonably right. And in the distance, I'm going to use this cloud colour just to indicate some hulls of some quite distant boats. Where they're moored up on the dry beach. Just roughly vague shapes of hulls of boats. I think yeah, we'll make it an odd number. Always looks better an odd number. And I'll put some masts in a second. What I want to do with just going to grab some. In fact, I'm going to switch to a smaller brush again. This is the number 2 Skoda. I'm just going to indicate a trail here. The boat's sitting on some supports. Maybe a wheel. Let's hint of a wheel the other side. No real detail, just the idea that there's something there. And this is a number 1 or 0. It's a 1 rigger, very thin brush. Just go sideways and just put these masts in. Slight angle, so I'm leaning the other way. Where the boats have sort of settled on the beach. Drop a little bit of neutral tint just at the base of those, just to lift them off the base a little bit. And I'll just indicate not too dark. Let's use some Naples yellow with a bit of blue added. Just create a bit of a shadow where those boats are. A few shadow areas in the sand as well, where a bit of an indentation where these pools are. It's going to add some burnt sienna to that Naples yellow. A little bit of blue maybe, just to darken it slightly. I'll stick with the number 4 brush. As I'm working small, I tend to switch to smaller brushes, but if I was working on a bigger picture, I'd be using much bigger brushes. But I just want to indicate some patches of darker beach areas. Again, it's one of those where you don't want to go over the top. What I am going to do is just strengthen that horizon line a little bit. Doesn't matter if some of the colours bleed, only a quick sketch. I'm just going to put a couple of figures in. Standing by the boat, I'm going to paint them in a fairly light grey colour, and I'll add some colour. Once I've figured out the scale of things. So say we're looking down a little bit, and maybe standing here. Just a couple of guys talking to each other about the boat. With his arm up against the boat. Okay, while those are still wet, I'm just going to drop in a bit of colour. Maybe a sort of browny coat for this guy. That may be a dark blue coat for this one. Yeah, and just not forget a shadow underneath them. Lift that out just a little bit, it's just a bit too much shadow, and same under the boats. Going to add a little bit of detail on the boat, just maybe put a black line along the top of that hull, a couple of occasion of some windows in the cabin. I'm using the wrong brush. Maybe a mast there. Darken that shadow underneath a little bit. It's a bit weak. Maybe a little shadow down one side of each of the guys, just to define them a bit more. Blend that in a little bit. Step back and have a look. Let's have a look. Let's maybe just to put a few more darker edges here and there. Kill that, make that a bit too dark, just to define the edges of those puddles. Just tidy up the shadows under those boats. We'll have some seagulls taking off, wheeling around something in the sand down there. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I'm just going to add a little bit of white gouache just to finish things off a little bit. Then we gouache is to keep it fairly thick, otherwise it will dry very flat and chalky. Maybe a line along the top of the, yeah, that's better. Just pulls it out a little bit. Just put a few touches of white down here as well. Just again to break that up, and yeah, bit of white on the couple of the seagulls. Very watery bit of gouache on the just on the shoulder of these guys, just to suggest a little bit of light there. Maybe a little bit of reflection in the water here and there. Probably won't make any difference, but just dry brush, drag it across. A few highlights here and there. A few sparkles in the sand where there's some lying water. Just to finish it off, really. And I think we're done. I hope you found this interesting to watch. It's again, it's one of those quick 10-15 minute sketches just to get the creative juices flowing and see what you can come up with on a small sheet of paper. As I've said in a previous video, it's far less intimidating when you're working small like this. It doesn't really matter if you mess it up, it's only a small piece of paper. But it's a bit of fun, and it helps to get your mind working so that if you want to move on to a bigger sheet of paper, you feel more confident. So I hope this helps anybody who's a novice or an intermediate painter. Watercolour is a great medium, but it can be very unforgiving if you're not used to it. So do practice with the colours in your palette. Try mixing different combinations and see what you come up with. But anyway, thank you for watching. Do give it a like if you found it useful, and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and do hit the notification bell for future videos. I try and post once a week if I can. And once more, thanks again for watching.